What's up, guys? It's Adam Grubb. On today's podcast, I got my brother Rick. We're talking Game of Thrones, and I'm going to see if he likes my dad jokes. What's up, Rick?
Oh, hey, hi, how are you?
Well, it's a major weekend.
It's a very major weekend.
Do you like
the most major? I do. They're the most fun.
What is your favorite major, golf major?
Oh,
for
Masters.
Those at
Masters,
home?
Absolutely Masters.
What's your favorite Masters tournament?
Jim Nantz, he approaches. The birds chirping in the background. What's that?
Did you go full Jim Nantz there, Rick?
I did.
You blacked out?
Yeah. What'd you ask?
Where were you when Tiger won his first 15th major?
I was at home. In full disclosure, I was supposed to be at open house, but I was about 15 minutes late because I had to stay home and watch him win that.
Oh, that's right. It was a morning.
It was. Because of the rain, they moved it up.
Yeah.
So it got to about 1:15, and I finally decided, okay, I finally do need to leave, but I figured, everybody else in the world is probably at home watching this as well.
Yeah.
So I was at home, standing there, fully dressed, bag around my shoulder, ready to go, just watching history.
Do you cry
watching that?
Golf?
I did. You
did?
Did you? As a father, did you?
Oh, as a golf fan, I mean, every time the Masters is over, it's like right when I know that they're going to have like that moment with their family. Was
it when his son ran up or just when he won?
Or
was it the anticipation?
It was like on 17. I started crying in the 17th fairway.
And cried until then, or just a tear here and there?
No, it's bad. I mean, it's embarrassing, really, honestly.
It's moving stuff, though. It's unbelievable.
It is, and I knew they were going to go there. The only thing I will say, though, I felt like Jim Nantz definitely tried to pull that emotion rather than sort of following Tiger where he was at. I thought he was trying to sort of guide him on the emotion a little bit. Not that I'm like going to critique Jim Nantz, like the man, but I did feel a little bit like he was trying to guide him rather than just like if Tiger was going to have raw emotion, like what that was. But man, what was going through his head? I mean, how incredible.
I think Tiger likes being guided. I feel like his public image, guiding is better for him.
Where's Tiger finish this weekend? Who do you like this weekend?
Tiger finishes 8th, and I got Ricky to win it.
You got Ricky to win it?
I got Ricky to win it.
Right before we came on, we looked. He was at 5 under with 1 to play.
Correct, and I picked him in a 4 majors pool that I'm in, where each major you pick 5 players. You pick your essentially your guy who you think's going to win it, and then 4 others. Then you're based and scored upon how well they do within that major, and you can only pick the same guy twice. So I picked Tiger to win the Masters. I was off on, what was just the...
Brooks at the PGA.
I had Brooks, but I didn't have him as my guy, which I unfortunately picked him in the Masters as well, so I was not able to pick Brooks. I would have. I was forced to take Ricky, and so far, so good. We'll see. He's young. We'll see if he can hold on to it. And Pebble Beach, the weather can definitely play a big factor.
Have you looked at the forecast? What are they saying?
I have not looked at the forecast.
How's your golf game?
It's getting better, thanks to Kenshaw Golf.
Taking lessons?
Taking here and there. Just driver. Only driver.
Yeah, what are you working on?
Just getting my hands square at impact. Can't get a driver. Solid duck hook. Can't do it. Not even like a fun duck hook. It's like a 30-yard duck hook off the tee. I mean, the amount of times I've played a hole with my pants around my ankles, it's getting out of control. So I had to take the lesson.
That is good for the other 3 people in your group that you're taking lessons.
They are excited about it. So I finally started hitting some straight, moved my hand over, a little stronger grip, coming around. It's really the weird part is it's the only golf club I do that with.
the kind of stronger grip with that right hand, something Kenny got me working on. And that's a weird feel.
It feels goofy.
To get back at impact.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's the golf swing. You revert back to your natural swing. Anything outside of that feels strange.
Yeah.
But, boy, the guy is good.
Well, the rain is gone. You got 4 hours. You can either go play 18 holes or you can go ride your bike. Which one are you going to pick?
I'm going to bike.
You're going to bike.
I'm going to bike.
Where are you biking?
It's been a difficult year for biking with all the flooding. That's been a tough one. So right now it's been a lot of Orlando's to Coming Tap and back. Stays out of the water. It's a good flat ride. You can get nice and, can I say drunk? Can I say drunk on here? Is that okay? I'm just kidding. Let's wear a helmet.
I got into this discussion the other day trying to describe Ragbri.
Mm-hmm.
And you've done Ragbri 4 or 5 years now?
6 years.
6 years. If you were talking to somebody that wasn't from Iowa, they didn't ride bikes, or they loved riding bikes, like even better, they love riding bikes, but they've never been on Ragbri. How do you explain that experience?
Ragbri is a 7-day leisure ride across the state of Iowa with 20,000 of your closest friends. Morning, noon, and night is fun. It's a party on wheels for 7 days. It's just nonstop fun. You can't beat it. You drink, you eat, you sleep, you party. Every minute is laughing and having fun. It's hot. It's sweaty. It is. It's the most fun you could possibly have on a bike.
Really?
Without a doubt.
I love it. I love Ragbri. I haven't got to do it in a few years, but I need to get back on the bike.
Your words, not mine.
You know what I want to do? I want to start by seeing if I can make you laugh.
That's pretty. Okay. That's mission accomplished.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to lay out 5 dad jokes, and you can't even smile.
Okay.
If you smile or laugh, I get a point.
Okay.
And if you don't, you get a point.
Okay.
Good luck. What time did the man go to the dentist?
2:30. You lose.
All right. My dad literally told me this one last week. Did you hear about the one Did you hear the one about the guy who invented lifesavers? Yeah, they say he made a mint. I mean,
it shouldn't be that hard.
Dad jokes. All right. Ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here."
You have a crickets button on there? There it is.
Whenever the cashier, what's the score? 2-1?
Yes.
Did I get a point because I laughed and then made you laugh? Do I get a point for that, or do you get that point?
No. I think that's a back end laugh. I'm allowed that one.
That was a practice
round.
That was a practice round.
Crossed the line.
All right. Whenever the cashier at the grocery store asks my dad if he would like the milk in a bag, he replies, just leave it in the carton. Yes. Yes.
The sound effect, it was the sound effects that got me.
Oh, did it? Well, let's do this. I'm going to do it to music this time. All right. Why do chicken coops only have 2 doors?
What?
Because if they had 4, they'd be a chicken sedan. No? Didn't get it?
No.
Damn. All right. What score? 2-2?
Yeah.
Me. Dad, make me a sandwich. Dad, poof, you're a sandwich.
I'm fighting it.
I did my best. I feel like you won the dad.
3-2.
The dad challenge.
Is it my turn?
Do you want? I'm not gonna not laugh.
Okay.
Do you know any dad jokes?
I do. So a mushroom walks into a bar. Bartender says, "We don't serve your kind here." He says, "Come on, I'm a fun guy." Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "We don't serve your kind here." Or sorry, that was the mushroom. Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Why the long face?"
I'll hook you up.
Thank you. Same horse walks into the same bar with jumper cables around his neck. Bartender says, "I can deal with the long face, but don't come in here trying to start shit."
I do like that one. I think I knew that one.
I've said that one before.
That's one of my favorites. I find myself.
Is profanity out of line? Can we curse?
Yeah, it's fine. This is an R-rated show.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Do you feel like getting some out of your system?
No. I just have a tendency to curse.
So here's the most important thing. Have you been enlightened to the truth about the ending of Game of Thrones?
Yeah. You sold it well. You packaged it up. I thought it was rushed.
What was rushed?
All of it. From season 5 on.
But do you understand why, though?
I do.
You get that?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I mean, you're taking literature and you're turning it into cinema. Like you're transferring, the arts of it. And you have 1,000 hours of literature and you have 6 hours of cinema.
Yeah. No, I follow. I get that. I think everybody gets that. I think that's why they did the documentary. You see it. You see the real life that went into that show. The makeup artists that are away from their kids for 6 months and missing school and plays and recitals and all this. And it's all very real. But as a selfish fan, I wanted to see more.
Yeah.
I wanted it drawn out.
Are you going to read the books?
I don't know how to read. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Unpack for me your feelings now of Bran the Broken.
In what sense?
What is Bran the Broken being more or less the winner of Game of Thrones, but being the king of Westeros? What does Bran the Broken, what does that mean that he ended up more or less, I know there's not a throne anymore, but like he's the ruler now of the 6 kingdoms.
It makes sense. When you got to think he had already written this out, right? He'd already put this to paper. He already had the timeline laid out. He knew Bran was going to be the one. It makes sense when you look at it. There's no ego. He's selfless. He doesn't want. He doesn't need. He just wants to do what's best for the world. And there's no one else like that in there. And so he's just the only guy that makes sense.
We've talked about this a ton. I mean, I obviously think Bran the Broken is the perfect, right? It's kind of the most vulnerable of vulnerable. Like that was the person that was really, that's what leadership is. I got a great quote sent to me the other day by our sales director, Ryan McClintock. And it basically said like the new currency in leadership is vulnerability and authenticity. What does that mean to you? The currency in leadership. So basically like the new leadership, the way to lead moving forward, whether you're on a team or you're a coach, leadership is the currency is vulnerability and accountability. What does that mean to you?
I would say to just show the people you're leading that you're open to fail, to show that you're wrong, but you're willing to accept it and move forward.
How do you feel like, and this is something we talk about a ton, but like I think about my path in the business and it's fun for me because I see a lot of similarities for me in you and the way your career has gone. But do you feel like you've grown more in your business and as a businessman in terms of your vulnerabilities or sort of those strengths? Or is it like capitalizing on the strengths, sort of learning from those vulnerabilities? Like, where do you feel like you've gotten the most growth?
Yeah, I would say you just trudge through the shit and you got to take it and just take it on the chin and keep your head down and keep moving forward. I would say that's the biggest, I think Gary V brings it up a lot, is just taking the L. Okay, this isn't for me. I'm not going to win this one. It happened. I went out there. I gave it my best. How am I going to learn from it and move forward? And that's kind of the lessons that you learn as you grow up.
That's what I loved about Game of Thrones is like the power structure was always the throne, right? And what power meant. Mm-hmm. And so the whole show, and everybody's really consumed by all these different characters sort of exerting or projecting or desiring power in some fashion, right? Mm-hmm. And you have Daenerys, and you have Jon Snow, and you have all of these different people, and they're entitled to the throne through whatever reason. So like, who was the best person? Who had the best story in terms of sort of their line of the throne or right to the throne, right? That's where I think they did such a beautiful job, and it makes so much sense that it's Bran the Broken, right? The guy who lost his ability to walk, so he learned how to fly. And that's what I loved about it. And that's what I think translates for me every single day, is that when you see people talking about leadership today, it's about being vulnerable. It's about being authentic. And Daenerys, in the end, her downfall was her inability to be vulnerable. And that's why she burns down King's Landing, right? And Jon is authentic. Jon is vulnerable. Like, he had the ability to take the one thing that he loved more than anything to truly save the world against what was essentially the most dangerous person that had ever been in Westeros. And so for Tyrion to then be the one, right, the broken one of his family, the outcast of his family, to say, you, Bran the Broken, are the one that have come the furthest. Stories are the best. And I thought it was just so powerful in the way that it speaks to how we look at power and ego, and that the new currency in leadership is truly vulnerability and authenticity.
Yeah.
Dynamite drop in.
I know. I don't have much else to add to it. You really summed it up.
But it makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do. It's this balance between knowing our value, living well with our vulnerabilities, and being aware of our vulnerabilities, not allowing our ego to project and mask against our vulnerabilities, and just double down on our values. No different than when Gary Vee's talking about basically triple down on your strengths and know you're a piece of shit, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he just has sort of a different way of explaining this thing. But I think that's what it is in the end. And that's the thing that I've loved about Game of Thrones. And I think it's misguided. I think people wanted that power. People wanted to see power in the way that we know and understand power. Mm-hmm. But, gosh, I'm going to have to post the name. It's the youngest woman that took a company public. She has Stitch. It's like an online women's clothing. Yeah. And it was her quote, and I absolutely loved it. The new currency in leadership is vulnerability and authenticity, and it's just something I thought about a ton. But Rick, I really appreciate you coming out. I know you were just walking by. I like the fact that you like my dad jokes. You don't have any good uncle jokes. You did get me to laugh a couple times, but it is just good to know that we now have on record and on camera that I've been right all along about Game of Thrones.
This is true.
All right. Thanks for coming out, bud.
And thanks for having me.